Hi guys, let's do a little tag the text video here where I want to walk you through some of the quotations that I think connect really nicely to the 6 characteristics of a dystopian society. And while I do this, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to talk to you about some of the characteristics of a dystopian society, but I'm also going to use it as an opportunity to show you Padlet one more time, just to kind of help you see how you can benefit from Padlet. Okay, so I'm going to be pulling 2 quotations. They're both from chapter 3, but they're on 2 different characteristics. Okay, so the first one I'm going to pull from, I'm reading out of this book. So if you have this book, I'll say the page number, but for the most part, guys, page numbers don't matter because we're all dealing with different versions of this book. Some of you are reading PDFs, some of you are listening to audiobooks. So from here on out, we're just going to, we're going to cite in parentheses our quotations just by chapter. Don't worry about page number. That's on the tag the text, that's on the Padlet, whatever you're doing, just go with the chapter number, okay? So I am going to talk about a quote that I found on page 26, okay? And this is when Jonas has just met Gabriel, and the baby that his father has brought home to take care of in the evening. Okay, and he's looking at Gabriel and he realizes that Gabriel kind of has a strange eye color, just like Jonas does. So he says, I'm going to read the whole paragraph. He says, Jonas shrugged. He followed them inside, but he had been startled by the new child's eyes. Mirrors were rare in the community. They weren't forbidden, but there was no real need of them. And Jonas had simply never bothered to look at himself very often, even when he found himself in a location where a mirror existed. Side note, that quotation can go with conformity. I'm not going to talk about that one right now, but they don't need mirrors because they all are basically, they're trying to make everyone look the same. And a mirror is a way that you can kind of look at your uniqueness. But in a society where everybody is supposed to act the same, look the same, wear the same ribbon, there's no need for mirrors because you're reflected in everyone you see. Everyone is the same. Side note. Now, here's the part I really want to talk about. Now, seeing the new child and its expression, he was reminded that the light eyes were not only a rarity, but gave the one who had them a certain look. What is it? Depth, he decided, as if one were looking into the clear water of the river, down to the bottom, where things might lurk which hadn't been discovered yet. He felt self-conscious, realizing that he, too, had that look. Okay, so this is a reference to eye color, okay, but there's a couple of things going on here. One, there's the conformity, the fact that Jonas is realizing that he, as well as this baby, Gabriel, they have something different about them. And he doesn't see it as a good thing. He's self-conscious about it. He doesn't feel good about it. It makes him a little concerned, and maybe he wants to hide this part of himself that is a little bit different from other people. But then there's this moment where he talks about water, the clear water of a river. And, right now, especially when we're all in isolation and quarantined, I think of a river and I think, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. I was looking into the, clear flowing water of this river. How gorgeous is this? But for him, there's no sense of like peace or release or beauty. The river for him holds mystery. There is something mysterious, something that hasn't been discovered yet, lurking in that river. Now, if you haven't figured out where I'm going with this, let's share my screen here real quick, and we are going to go to the section of the Padlet, okay, where I think that this is really going to fit. Okay, so I'm going to do this here. Now, this idea of, there's something lurking down there, okay, and he's clearly feeling uncomfortable with this. I think that this is really going to fit well in fear of the outside world. Okay, so I'm going to go to my Padlet and I'm going to take part of that quotation and I'm going to put it into the Padlet. And I'm going to put it in here under fear of the outside world. Okay, now, as I told you in my last video, zoom in a little bit here. Okay, so I'm putting this in fear of the outside world, right? All right, so I'm adding mine. I'm going to put my name. I'm going to put Warren's name just so it's clear. Okay, and I'm going to put which chapter I'm dealing with. This is chapter 3. Okay, page numbers don't matter. Let's go with chapter. All right, I'm going to type that out. Okay, and I'm going to just type out part of it. Okay, blah, 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 lurk, which hadn't been discovered. All right, for the sake of time, I'm not going to type out the whole thing, but I would like you guys to type out the whole thing, okay? And then, of course, it would be awesome if you guys put in something here. A river, maybe, picture of a river. And there we go, okay? There's my quotation, right? So this idea that there's something lurking there, there's something within the water that hasn't been discovered yet. So it's not just that he's like, afraid of rivers, right? He's not afraid of rivers. He's afraid of the fact that there is something out there that he doesn't yet recognize, okay? That he doesn't understand. It's this fear of the outside world. All right, those are the kinds of things you're looking for. Moments where Jonas or other characters seem to just feel uncomfortable with the fact that there's things out there that they don't yet understand. Because if everything in the world is exactly the same, if I know that, you know, when I turn, forget what it is in the book, but when I turn 11, I get a bicycle, you know, there's this level of comfort knowing I know exactly what's going to happen. I know when I'm going to be able to take the hair, you know, tie ribbon out of my hair. I know what's going to happen when I'm 12. I know, you know, so this fear of the unknown really affects the characters in the novel because life is so uniform. It's so the same that anything that is outside of that norm is just so frightening for them. Okay. All right. So that's the first one. Let's do another one. I'm going to actually take it from the same page. Okay. Actually, it's the very next page. So on page 27, again, if you're dealing with this version of the book, on page 27, there is a moment where he's talking to his mother. In fact, it's Lily talking to her mother. And Lily is saying that she kind of wishes she could be a birth mother. She's like, you know, when I grow up, I kind of want to be a birth mother, you know? And here is what Lily and Jonas's mom has to say about birth mothers. She says, you know, Lily's like, I think I want to be a birth mother. Like, let's do it. I want to have children. Like, how fun would that be? 3 years, Mother told her firmly. 3 years, and that's all. After that, they are laborers for the rest of their adult lives until the day that they enter the house of the old. Is that what you want, Lily? 3 lazy years and then hard physical labor until you're old? Okay, so the birth mothers. I would have to find it somewhere in the book, but there's a moment too where they talk about the fact that the birth mothers are really not considered respectable in this society. They're important, obviously, they're essential, but they're not considered a respectable role in this society, okay? And the mother is saying basically, you know, here's what happens to birth mothers in this community. They're gonna be around for 3 years. For 3 years, they get to kind of like loll around, eat what they want. They get waited on hand and foot. They pop out, I think it's 3 babies that they're allowed to have. You know, you have 3 babies, and then we're done with them. We're completely done with them. They go into hard labor. Okay, the rest of their life, they don't get to change careers. They don't get to go do something different. They don't get to like redefine their life. They don't even get to see their babies, by the way. Their babies are taken from them immediately. They are just there to push out a baby and then to go out and be laborers for the rest of their lives. Now, Don't know. I'm gonna pause. I feel like you know, like this should be like a Blues Clues video. Like, so boys and girls, which characteristic do you think this quotation connects to? Oh, wait. Tick, 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 tick. My kids during these videos, they'll be like, what one do you think it is? And they'll pause, and my kids will be like, I think it's this. So I'm imagining you guys all out there like, I know. It's probably not happening. You're probably just staring at the screen, hoping I'll continue or get it over with. All right, so I'm gonna get it over with. All right, so this is, dun, 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 dun. I think this is going to go under dehumanization. Okay, so dehumanization, I'm going to go ahead and add here. All right, again, let's pretend I'm Warren. My name, chapter 3. I guess I should put his last name too, right? There you go. By the way, if you create an account, you don't have to write your name. You can just write the chapter number because your name will pop up right there. Okay, so yeah, 3 births, and that's all. After that, they are laborers for the rest of their adult lives. Okay, guys. Now, again, this is going to be a representation of dehumanization. These birth mothers are basically being treated like a dog breeding would. You know, like you maybe know people who've adopted dogs because they were used to just like push out puppies. And then as soon as they're done having their puppies, people don't want them anymore. I know I have a good friend who has a dog named Betty. He's a coon hound. She's a coon hound, and she was a breeder. By the time she was 18 months old, she had already had several litters of puppies, and then she got put in a shelter because nobody wanted her anymore. What good is she now? She's no longer breeding hunting dogs, and so she was abandoned in a shelter. And you know, we hear about that with dogs, but that's happening to humans in this story. These birth mothers are only able to contribute to society for 3 years. They give out 3 children, and then they're useless to this community. Okay, they're anytime you see a character and you think, oh my gosh, these guys, they're treating this person like an animal. They're being treated like an animal. That's dehumanization. Okay, anytime you feel like somebody's being treated like an animal or like an object, like that's so inhumane. Dehumanization. Okay, that's that character trait. So anytime you see that, anytime you feel like, wow, like that was just not cool, like who treats human beings that way, that's going to fall under dehumanization. Okay, now I also mentioned that if your quotation is taken, so if you've done your tag the text and you're going in to find Padlet here, and you're like, shoot, my quotations are all taken, because I do want you looking at other people's quotes. That's part of the beauty of Padlet, is that you guys are able to see what other people are saying as well. So if you go in and you're like, shoot, my quotations are all taken, that's fine. Okay, what you are going to do, I don't really know what to do for a picture here, so I'm not going to do a picture on this one. Okay, so what you're going to do next is you are going to go and you're going to find a quotation that maybe one that you've already done yourself, okay, or that you also picked, and you're going to leave some commentary. All right, I already did it here for mine, so I'm just going to review this again. Okay, so then all of the citizens had been ordered to go into the nearest building and stay there immediately. The rasping voice through the loudspeakers said, "Leave your bicycles where they are." All right, so you can see here that that I have left 2 commentary sentences, and these sentences are basically, guys, just explaining how I feel this quotation connects to constant surveillance. Okay, that's all I'm asking you to do for those commentary sentences. Just explain how do they show that this quotation connects to this characteristic of a dystopian society. All right, guys, I'm hoping that you watch this before you take your characteristics of a dystopian society quiz. Okay, that's my hope, is because I just want you to kind of see how we're walking through this. because for that quiz, we're going to do the opposite. I'm going to give you a quotation, and you are going to have to decide, okay, if I said to you he had never seen an aircraft so close, or it was against the rules for pilots to fly over the community, I'm going to say to you, okay, that's the quote. Which of these characteristics do you think is being demonstrated? And you would say, I know, Miss Curtis, it's, did you all say it in your head? Did it work? Did you say it? I'm gonna start writing children's shows. You would say, that's restrictions. I know that one, it's restrictions. Or you would just quietly click. That's all I guess. Okay, guys, miss you. I think you're gonna do awesome on this. I hope you guys are having a good week. I really hope that you're enjoying The Giver. It's a cool book. And I will talk to you guys soon, right? Take care, stay healthy, stay happy, again and again and again. Miss you. Take care of yourselves, guys.